The Brit Chadashah for Torah portion 19, Terumah, is going to be Matthew 13:1 through 53. That same day Yeshua went out of the house and sat down by the lake. But such a large crowd had gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat there while the crowd stood on the shore. He told them many things in parables. A farmer went out to sow his seeds, and as he sowed, some fell alongside the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Other seed fell on rocky patches where there wasn't much soil. It sprang quickly because the soil was hollow. But when the sun had risen, the young plants were scorched, and since their root was not deep, they dried up. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. But others fell into rich soil and produced grain, 100 or 60 or 30 times as much as had been sown. Those who have ears, let them hear. Then the Talmudim came and asked Yeshua, "What are you speaking to them in parables?" He answered, "Because it has been given to you to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but it has not been given to them. For anyone who has something will be given more, so that he will have plenty. But from anyone who has nothing, even what he does have will be taken away. Here is why I speak to them in parables. They look without seeing, and listen without hearing or understanding. That is, in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Yeshua, which says, 'You will keep on hearing but never understand, and keep on seeing but never perceive. Because the heart of his people has become dull, and their ears they barely hear, and their eyes have closed, so as not to see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their heart, and to do teshuvah, so that I could heal them.' But you, how blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears, because they hear. Yes, indeed, I tell you that many a prophet and many a tzaddik longed to see the things that you are seeing, but did not see them, and to hear the things you are hearing, but did not hear them. So listen to what the parable of the sower means. Whoever hears the message about the kingdom, but doesn't understand it, is like the seed sown along the path. The evil one comes and seizes what was sown in his heart. The seed sown on the rocky ground is like a person who hears the message and accepts it with joy at once, but has no root in him. So he stays on for a while, but as soon as some trouble or persecution arises on account of the message, he immediately falls away. Now the seed sown among thorns stands for someone who hears the message, but is choked by the worries of the world and the deceitful glamour of wealth, so that it produces nothing. However, what was sown on rich soil is the one who hears the message and understands it. Such a person will surely bear fruit, 100 or 60 or 30 times what was sown." Yeshua put before them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while people were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and then they went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads of grain, the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where have the weeds come from?" He answered, "An enemy has done this." The servant asked him, "Then do you want us to go and pull them up?" But he answered, "No, because if you pull up the weeds, you might uproot some of the wheat at the same time. Let them both grow together until the harvest, and at the harvest time I will tell the reapers to collect the weeds first and tie them in bundles to be burned, and put together the wheat into my barn." Yeshua put before them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man takes and sows in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it grows up, it is larger than any garden plant and becomes a tree, so that the birds flying about come and nest in its branches. And he told them yet another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed in with a bushel of flour, then waited until the whole batch of dough rose. All these things Yeshua said to the crowds in parables. Indeed, he said nothing to them without using a parable. This was to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet. "I will open my mouth in parables. I will say what has been hidden since the creation of the universe." Then he left the crowds and went to the house. His Talmudim approached him and said, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." He answered, "The one who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. As for the good seed, these are the people who belong in the kingdom, and the weeds are the people who belong to the evil one. The enemy who sows them is the adversary. The harvest at the end of this age, and the harvesters are angels. Just as the weeds are collected and burned up in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send forth his angels, and they will collect out of his kingdom all the things that cause people to sin, and all the people who are far from Torah. And they will throw them into the fiery furnace, where people will wail and grind their teeth. Then the righteous excuse me, will shine forth like the sun in his kingdom of his Father. Whoever has ears, let him hear. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. A man found it, hid it again, and then in great joy went and sold everything he owned and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant on the lookout for fine pearls. On finding one very valuable pearl, he went away, sold everything he owned, and bought it. Once more, the kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown into a lake that caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen brought the net onto the shore, sat down, and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw the bad fish away. So it will be at the close of the age. The angels will go forth and separate the evil people from among the righteous, and throw them into the fiery furnace, where they will wail and grind their teeth. Have you understood all these things? Yes, they answered. And he said to them, So then every Torah teacher who has been made into a Talmudin for the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a home who brings out of his storage room both old and new. When Yeshua had finished his parables, he left and went to his hometown, and there he taught them in synagogues in a way that astounded them, so that they asked, Where does this man's wisdom come and miracles come from? Isn't he the carpenter's son? Isn't his mother called Miriam? And his brothers Yaakov, Yosef, Shimon, and Judah? And his sisters, aren't they all with us? So where does he get all this? And they took offense at him. But Yeshua said to them, The only place people don't respect a prophet is in his hometown and in his own house. And he did few miracles because there was a lack of trust.